Ready to pass that Maryland real estate exam? This particular video is going to review a topic under the title of brokerage relationship or agency. It produces one of the most questions on either the salesperson exam or the broker exam. We're going to talk about disclosures being provided by the Maryland Real Estate Commission and focus on just two that we are to offer the public when we meet with them. And these are the Understanding Home Agents Represent and the Open House Notice. When ready, we are here to help you pass your real estate exam, schedule a tutor session, or attend our next group session reviewing the Maryland real estate exam. This is a conversation on Maryland disclosures. Disclosures are found on the topic of brokerage relationships or the topic of agency, which produces rather the most questions. The salesperson exam will produce 7 questions. And if you are tackling the broker exam to where in the future you'll be a broker or an associate broker, this topic produces 7 questions as well. So the breakdown of the questions on this particular topic is going to fall under the conversation of listing agreements. It will also go through disclosure of agency. And then it shall tackle the topic of disclosure of interest in the property or conflict of interest if there's one, especially when you are helping family to buy or sell or rent. And then this is the big conversation on disclosure. When it comes to the disclosure forms, we are going to get them from the Maryland Real Estate Commission. These are to be offered to the public. They each serve different purposes. The first one, Understanding Whom Real Estate Agents Represent, for the public to know who in the world are you representing when you meet with them. Dual agency is a conversation that's very different in most of the states. So we'll be talking about that in another session. When you are within a team, so a team is within a company, so there'll be an additional notification of dual agency within a team that is required if you. And then the last one is to do with the residential property disclosure disclaimer statement. Our focus today is going to be on 2, the Understanding Whom Agents Represent. And then we're going to tackle the open house notice. Where we are starting off with this conversation is in terms of disclosure when I meet with the public. Thanks to the Real Estate Commission website, you will be able to scroll down. So when you visit the Maryland Real Estate Commission website, just scroll down on the home page, and that is where you're going to find the forms. Thanks to technology, our business has evolved to where majority of the times we are not meeting our future client face-to-face. Initially, we are probably going to be meeting them online through any of these particular websites as examples. So the consumer is checking stuff online, and let's assume they go to realtor.com, they pull up a property and they connect with us. So that initial contact with the consumer, there's certain things that we need to be aware of when you get your Maryland real estate license. For the example, here's where somebody has gone to, let's say, realtor.com. In this example that I'm showing, Nicole Carr and Samson Properties are the listing company. So Nicole is a listing agent. Samson Properties in this example is a listing broker. So when somebody connects with Nicole or anyone else through realtor.com, we are then to disclose, who are we? Are we the listing agent? Are we the seller's agent? or sub-agent. I'll go into those briefly in a couple of minutes. Keep in mind, it's not only online that we are connecting with the consumer. Maybe the consumer is going to call us. Maybe the consumer is going to send us something in through email. So whichever way that the consumer connects with me, Brenda, a real estate agent here in Maryland, what am I expected to do? That first contact, I am expected to disclose who am I. Let's start with the first scenario. Am I the seller's agent? So who is the seller's agent? This is the listing agent who brought in the business, where they brought in the seller, they got all the documents signed and everything ready to get the property up for sale. That's a listing agent. Who else would be the seller's agent? Anyone within that company. What does that mean? If you brought in the business to your brokerage, Sunshine Realty as an example, everyone under Sunshine Realty is a seller's agent. Why? The seller client signed an agreement with the broker, the brokerage, and everyone working in that company. And then buyer's agent, I'm going to disclose that I represent the buyer. Now here, some of you might be questioning, what is a good example on this one? This would be, I have met Kevin. Kevin has signed a buyer agency agreement, and now we are potentially going to see a property with a builder who isn't represented per se by any brokerage. They're representing themselves, or what some of us know as for sale by owner, FSBO. The seller has decided they're going to represent themselves. They're not going to hire an agent. When I have the first contact with those two examples, I am to disclose that I am representing the buyer, and the buyer and I have an agreement. The third disclosure is when I am the sub-agent. How am I a sub-agent? I am a sub-agent when I do not have an agreement with the buyer. Brenda, for example, is with Sunshine Realty. I meet with the buyer. They're connecting with me, asking me questions about a property listed by Yellow Realty. Since I don't have an agreement with this potential buyer, then I am a sub-agent of the seller when I go show this house to this buyer with whom I don't have an agreement with, and I am not with Yellow Realty in my example. So whenever I am showing a buyer a property that is not listed by our company, the company I am affiliated with, then I am a sub-agent. So I'm going to disclose that I represent the seller. Then when we meet face-to-face, our first scheduled face-to-face meeting, probably it's going to be for us to show you the house. We're then going to present the understanding whom agents represent. It is 2 pages. And at the very top, it's going to indicate that it is a disclosure, it's a notice, it's not a contract. Its purpose is, again, to have you, the consumer, understand whom the real estate agent is representing at that time prior to an agreement being signed. So the statement for this document is that it is to be presented to a customer or the consumer, an individual with whom, dear real estate agent in Maryland, you do not have an agreement with. We are to present it no later than the first scheduled face-to-face meeting. What does that mean? If I'm going to be meeting with you today, and I'm going to show you 6 houses before we part ways, that is no later than the first scheduled face-to-face meeting. It doesn't have to be as house number 1. Hey, Ashley, nice to meet you. Here's the form. As long as I present it to you no later than the end of us checking out those 6 houses if Ashley and I do not have an agreement. So this document, the understanding whom agents are present, is for the consumer or customer, an individual with whom you do not have an agreement with. Using Ashley as an example, customer choices. What is Ashley's choice when I present to her that form? Keep in mind, Ashley in this example is not represented. Whether Ashley is a buyer, tenant, seller, landlord, when I am meeting with the consumer, a person with whom I do not have an agreement with, they're unrepresented, they're a customer, I am to present the understanding whom agents are present at the first scheduled face-to-face meeting. Choice number 1 for this particular customer. Okay, I've reviewed it. I understand what it's talking about. I understand who represents the seller. I understand that a buyer agent needs to have an agreement. I understand how dual agency works. I acknowledge receipt, and therefore they sign it, and they're going to remain a customer, and you're going to give the statutory obligations to the customer. We have a video talking about that. Check out the description. Option number 2 for Ashley, who is not represented as a customer, whether she's a buyer, tenant, seller, landlord, we do not have an agreement with Ashley. She might decide not to sign the form. If she decides not to sign the form, that's still fine. Remember, it's a notice, it's a disclosure. I, Brenda, the agent, what I'm going to do is to sign it at the bottom saying I did what I was supposed to do. I shared it with Ashley, and Ashley will receive a copy of the document. Option 3, which is where most of us would like, is, you know what, Brenda? So this is Ashley letting me know that she likes my style, and instead we're going to have an agreement signed. So this is where Ashley has indicated that she and I are going to be working together, and we're going to have the agreement signed, and I'm going to represent them as a client. Keep in mind, even though my notes are talking in favor on the buy-in side or the tenant side, this is the same thing on the landlord or the seller side. So when I meet with an individual, first schedule face-to-face meeting, I'm going to provide the form. Unless, again, they decide that they're going to hire me, they're going to sign the agreement, and now they're going to become a client. The understanding whom agents represent is only for unrepresented buyers, tenants, sellers, or landlords. Now, when we meet with the consumer, another way that we meet the consumer or customer is that they visit the open houses. And we make it so attractive for you to visit the open houses, and you show up. It is an open house, and all that means is what? That we have scheduled 1, 2, 3 hours, or maybe some 4, where the house is open. You don't have to schedule an appointment. You can just show up. In this particular instance, when the consumer is attending one of my open houses, remember I am a real estate agent, what am I expected to do? Since this is an open house, we have a little bit of a difference in terms of how things work. And what that means is it would be very difficult for some of us who are fortunate to have 20, 30, 15, or even 10 people attending an open house, and us making sure that you receive the understanding whom agents represent could be a daunting task. So what we have in place is that at an open house, yes, it is scheduled. The consumer is coming in. What we're going to do instead is to post this particular notice. It is provided from the Maryland Real Estate Commission. It has the contact information at the top and at the bottom with the letterhead, and it is to be provided, or rather, it is to be printed in full, in color, and then the law indicates that it needs to be displayed conspicuously where the person can read the information that is presented on the document. So this is all addressing disclosure to the public when we first meet the public. First, no matter which way I meet with you, whether it's online, a phone call, or an email, I am going to disclose who I am at that present moment. When we meet at the first scheduled face-to-face meeting, I will provide you the understanding whom agents represent. Should you attend one of our open houses, you will find that particular notice displayed. This is the moment for you to schedule your exam if you qualify. If you got an email from PSI, go ahead and schedule it. You will be ready. I'm sure you're going to make sure that you're ready. The exam does offer 2 parts. You have the national side of the exam and you have the Maryland part of the exam. There's 6 topics that you need to be aware of on the Maryland side, broken down to duties and powers of what in the world the Real Estate Commission does. What do I need to get my license and keep it? Brokerage relationship, and today's topic was under that topic, which is sometimes also referred to as agency. What is your broker or team leader supposed to do in terms of supervision? Even though you might end up being an independent contractor, your broker still has the final say. Business conduct in terms of us knowing the laws to do with advertising and signs, fair housing, and so forth. And then we have our own code of ethics that we follow. So we have questions on that. This breakdown will be in the description of the video. There are a couple resources that are available to help you pass this particular exam. My favorite, and maybe a favorite to most of you, if you're checking this video, I welcome you to check out the others on the topic of passing the Maryland real estate part of the exam, and also on the national side is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We also are available to have a tutor session with you where it's just you and I for 90 minutes going through whatever is it that you need. We offer this now virtually through Zoom. If you like a group setting, we have those as well. On the first Saturday of the month in the morning at 9:30, we offer a session that's 90 minutes focusing on Maryland law. On the national side, which is applicable to anyone in the country, on the second Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we go through the national content, also for 90 minutes. If you have a Facebook account, we have a Facebook community as well, known as Pass the Real Estate Exam, that you're welcome to check out. I would love for us to connect on social media. Find me under Brenda Kasuva. Our website is Training with Brenda that will offer you more information as well. Until next time, all the best in your exam, and we're here to help you pass that real estate exam. That was awesome, right? You like our style? I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam. We offer group coaching sessions on a monthly basis, and we also have tutor sessions that would match your availability. Show the love. Go ahead and subscribe. Put your comments in the video here, and we shall respond. Go ahead and like, share it with your friends. I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam.